Kia ora.
Speaker.
I call Alistair Scott.
Mr. Speaker, I had a very sort of unusual experience just a few minutes ago when I found myself agreeing with a Green Party member. And that was the words of Barry Coates, and I do invite Mr. Ball actually to address the questions that Mr. Coates raised around that program that was around about 10 or 15 years ago, and the failure that program was. And it's all very well to talk about the LSV program as being a success, and it is, but that doesn't mean we can just simply expand it and somehow create greater success. It's quite a different program. So to me, your program, Mr. Ball, looks and smells and seems to be very similar to a program that has already proven to have failed in the past. So that's the first thing. There was the second point I'd like to make is that there seems to be, at least in the language in the Bills Digest, some sort of compulsion to participate in this program if you find yourself as one of these, I think Mr. Ball calls these people school dropouts who are languishing on the unemployment benefit. I'm not sure that there are 90,000 of them, but nevertheless, in the bill, I read some sort of compulsion. So if you're not, perhaps, and please clarify, so if you can't make it through till 15 in this case, but let's just say 16 or 17, you're not in a youth guarantee scheme, you're not in a gateway scheme, you like the service academies that are out there because that's, I'm assuming your bill, sir, is voluntary participation in the scheme. So you're enjoying the service academies, you've already participated in those, and you're thinking of a career in the military. That's the pathway that I'm anticipating the entry point for these people, for these youth. And then, of course, you didn't like the Maori and Pacific trades training and you failed the Pacific Employment Support Services, or whatever it is. So I'm interested to hear from you whether it's compulsory. Do these people have to have failed or participated and dropped out of, not just secondary school, but also all these other initiatives that the government has as options for those NEETs or youth, or even those school leavers? They may not even be NEETs. So that's the second point. The third point is I am also concerned at the age that your bill the age group that your bill applies to. And we've already talked about the pastoral care that would be required. I'm assuming, and I apologise if I make the wrong assumptions, but I assume that these camps would be in a boarding house situation. You'd live on campus, you'd get up in the morning, you'd run around the block, you'd be forced to do 100 sit-ups, and then you'd go and do your apprenticeship training and so on and so forth. So I'm concerned about the age of these participants. I believe that we should do everything to keep people in school, and if they're not set up to participate in schools, then there are other options, like the charter schools. So I'd be interested to hear of your thoughts vis-a-vis this bill and with regard to charter schools. Is there a role that charter schools can play in the people that Mr. Ball is talking about? No, well, it's a similar, there's no reason that you can't have a specialised charter school type, call it whatever you like, a charter boot camp. Well, yours, Mr. Ball, your bill does recommend, Mr. Speaker, to do training for apprenticeships. You talk about the NCA and the ongoing education in the camp, in the school. So I don't see it too dissimilar, especially given the age group that you're talking about. But overall, Mr. Speaker, I can't support this bill, obviously. I think it does feel like a silver bullet, and I think there's a lot of well-intended purposes to the bill, but the way that it's laid out and the end result is not, I believe, not what the member is looking for. So I cannot support this bill.
I call Derek Ball, 5 minutes in reply.
Well, how utterly disappointing